It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. I'm looking at the wrong camera already. Using a different camera this time, everybody. So if you're listening to the podcast, just know it's I'm like softer and lighter. It's what is this? The one's that's the face cam, right? The Elgato face cam. Yeah, the Elgato face cam. So if you're wondering how it looks like on my face for your own purchasing information, well, there you go. This is Grub Snacks. Let's get back on the rails. This is Grub Snacks, the show where I talk about what's happening in the news. I'm Jeff Grubb. I write over at GamesBeat and all that stuff. We're going to talk about some news. I got some cool stuff to talk about today, I think. I got one thing that I'm like hesitant, but I kind of can't help myself. So we'll get into all that very soon. If you want, you should. Oh, I'm muted, aren't I? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. OBS is being a nightmare for me today. You know what? Let's just keep going. This is the best show I've ever done. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm going to make up for it right now. Let's just, instead of doing the teasy thing and then waiting, I'll just get into it. Let's just talk about it. If you want to send a question, hit the ask a question button there at the top. We all have things that we want to see get made again or sequels, right? This is one that I've been asked about a bunch. And when Microsoft purchased Bethesda, this is one that a lot of people thought, hey, maybe it could happen because they have that team and they have that developer. And they have that IP. Maybe they could have. Okay, so very early. This is very early, but people have begun to have talks and say these words in sentences. And those words are Obsidian and New Vegas 2. Very early. This is, like, listen, we're talking years and years away. But I will say that there's at least an interest and conversations being had about making something like that actually a reality. Obsidian is a team that Microsoft bought before they ever bought Bethesda. Then they bought Bethesda. They got the Fallout IP. And a lot of people say, hey, why wouldn't Obsidian just do that? Well, Obsidian's very busy. Obsidian's got a lot of games in the works. They've got Grounded. They're doing Avowed, right? I can't keep all the teams straight at Microsoft anymore. I think they're the ones doing Avowed. They have some other stuff, I think, in the works. But if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because we've talked about on this show about how far away a new Fallout game could be if we are just sticking with Bethesda Game Studios proper, right? So if you're sticking with Bethesda Game Studios, we got to get Starfield out, and Starfield's not going to just come out and be that. They're going to do a lot of updates for it. It's going to keep them busy. There will be a team that moves on very quickly to the Elder Scrolls 6, but how fast are we really expecting to see Elder Scrolls 6? We're talking years and years after Starfield comes out. And Starfield is coming this year. So, the time frame there maybe is like, okay, maybe it does happen a little bit quicker. But Bethesda Game Studios is going to take their time. But they're not going to get to Fallout until after the Elder Scrolls 6, more than likely. And then they're going to look around and be like, okay, now that it's been 15 years since we released a Fallout game or something, when we actually get another one released. I think this makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people at Microsoft think that this could work, and I think that there's interest to make it happen. The sentences have been said that contain those keywords, so it's not like people are just throwing out the notion immediately. It looks like they are trying to move in that direction. Very early, but I know people love this stuff, and like whenever we try to talk about these sort of things, we are trying to like explain the thought process here. And I think if you consider like where they're at with these IPs and with their studios, it does begin to like fit with the model. And also the idea is they want to have these IPs active and ongoing, so it makes a lot of sense. Okay, there you go. For my flub, I've made it up to you. The next thing is, this one's, it's a small thing. It might be a joke. And previously it was a joke that they've sort of played up a little bit. But there was a trademark filed for a game called Hooked on You. This is a dating sim based in the Dead by Daylight universe, which is an online multiplayer sort of horror game where you play as I've not played it. But my understanding is it's one of those asymmetrical sort of, someone's the monster, someone's like a famous movie villain, like horror monster, like Freddy Krueger or something, and then all the kids are trying to escape him. You've played it. My guess here is that you would be dating the monsters, and that's how it would work. Like, that's what this is. They've there was like that Dead by Daylight community is so huge and active, and they eat up everything, all the content they can get. So guess here is they're probably just playing it up. This isn't going to be some of that. All right. Before we get into Spartacus, let's talk about Dragon Age 4 real quick again. We mentioned last week, it's doing great internally because it needed more time, so it was never really on schedule. For that, maybe for that delay, with that delay in mind, maybe they were on schedule for, it'll come out, but not for where the game needed to be. And everyone inside knew that. Everyone at EA knew that. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a fuzz. Everyone at EA knew that. Everyone at DICE knew that. And they were just speaking publicly saying the game is going to come out in time for this quarter, the end of this quarter, so that we can get this money in the holiday and stuff like that. That's what they meant. This is not the same thing with Dragon Age. Dragon Age is, first of all, still at least 18 months out, so there's a lot of time. But for where it should be at this point in the process, it's coming along very nicely. I think a lot of that has to be chalked up to working with Unreal Engine instead of working with Frostbite. The challenges with BioWare recently they're not all Frostbite, of course, but Frostbite is a very challenging engine to work with, especially if you're like doing animations. I mean, we saw that, like all the memes about Mass Effect Andromeda and stuff like that. But even Anthem was like this stiff world where like the NPCs never moved. Like, you remember, like, I remember going back to Mass Effect Legendary Edition and going back to Mass Effect 1 and going in a bar and seeing like, all the NPCs are dancing and flailing around and doing all kinds of crazy movements. And you never saw anything like that in any of the Frostbite games from BioWare. Well, they're working on Unreal Engine, a very robust tool set, a well-documented tool set. It seems like if you have the creative side figured out, the tech side's going to sort of take care of itself. Now, I say that, and I bet there's developers like Nothing Takes Care report, basically saying that it's going to be coming soon. It's a new subscription service meant to go head-to-head with Xbox Game Pass, and it's going to maybe have classic games and stuff like that. Well, I got a little bit more information, some of the details. Now, some of these things, I'll preface it by saying some of these things could change. We are probably getting pretty close to this actually launching. My understanding is something's probably going to happen by the end of this month, and I don't think that necessarily means publicly. I think in terms of like their internal like milestones of where the service needs to be so they can launch it soon, I think they're trying to figure that out by the end of this month, early next month. But still, the information I have could be outdated. It could be placeholder, but I think in general, this is a good explanation of what to expect from this service. So there will be 3 tiers. Right now, they are called Essential, Extra, and Premium. The pricing, again, could be placeholder, but the pricing is $10 a month for Essential, $13 a month for Extra, and $16 a month for Premium. What do you get in each one? Well, the overall structure seems very similar to something like EA Play. If you've ever subscribed to like EA Play on Xbox or PlayStation or PC or Origin Play, whatever they call it now, the subscription service basically. Where let's start from the top and work down. So for Premium, $16 per month. That's a lot. That's more than Game Pass Ultimate right now. So what do you get? Do you get full games? Yeah, kinda. A little bit. Not really. Kinda. It's like EA Play. You get game trials. You're going to get full game trials. I don't know if that means for every single game that comes out. It seems to be implying that, though. And, like, what is the time going to be on that? It's probably going to vary from game to game, but on EA Play, it's 10 hours per game. You go in there, you try it, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it. Usually you get a discount. I don't know about the discounts. I don't know about the time limit, but game trials for big new games is kind of what's going to be in there. That's not the only thing. You also get classic games and streaming. So none of the other tiers will have a cloud streaming. You only get the cloud streaming through the premium tier, but you also get classic games. What does classic games mean? I'm sorry, I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. At least nothing that I could feel good about sharing, because I feel like some of it's speculation and some of it's again. There's noise in the signal, basically. I don't know what classic gaming means, but I do know that it is a major part of this premium tier. So you have game trials, classic games, and streaming on this premium tier. Now I'm going to move down a tier, and obviously all this stuff will be included above. So the extra tier, you get downloadable game catalog. So if this seems like anything in PS Now that was downloadable, seems like it'll work in here. And this is, I think the number was something like over 250, over 300 games or something like that. You don't get cloud streaming, but you do get over 300 games you can download. And I think if you subscribe to the extra tier, you will at the very least get these games just popping and appearing in your library. You'll just see them there, and you'll be able to just download them. Because it's in this game catalog, I'll be able to download it. And then you get Essential, which is PS Plus with the monthly games, just like you know it today. Now, are there annual membership numbers for like how much these things cost? I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. And to me, that sounds like one of the reasons why they've been getting rid of subscription cards, why they've been like moving away from anything at retail, why they've sort of been pulling back. I don't know if there's going to be an annual option, sort of like Xbox Game Pass doesn't have an annual option, right? You don't save money by getting an annual option with Xbox Game Pass anymore. It's one of the reasons they can sort of afford to do it, is because you're going to be paying monthly, you're going to be paying more over the year, but it's a smaller fee per month or something like that. I don't know. That's speculation on my part, but that's the hunch I get. So all the services. So if you get the premium, you get monthly games, you get the 300 plus game catalog, you get classic games, game trials, and cloud streaming. That is their offer to you for $16 per month. I think that this is probably going to be pretty successful. I think the game trials thing is actually a pretty big answer to what Game Pass does. Because one of the things people say about Game Pass is like, it's great, I pay so much per month, and I at least get to try the games and know if I like them. And if I like them, yeah, sure, they might leave the service one day, but I could always just go and buy it or something like that. I am looking at the wrong camera. God damn it! Thank you. You know what? I'm talking to the interview host over here. This is just going to be a mess today, everybody. I think this is going to probably be pretty successful because they have. I think the pricing is really compelling. Where, okay, you already have. You probably already have PS Plus for $10 per month or whatever per year. Now we're bringing in what were previously a lot of these PS Now features. We're breaking those down and we're giving those to you for cheaper. And sure, if you just want to download them, pay $3 more. But if you just pay $3 more than that, you get all this stuff and classic games. It's the medium popcorn thing that we've talked about a lot, where you see the medium popcorn and then you see a large popcorn. You say the large popcorn's only 25 cents more. Why wouldn't I do that? And then you don't think about the fact that you're spending $14 on a bucket of popcorn. You only think about the fact that you're spending a quarter more than a medium. It's a mental trick. Everyone does it, and I think that you're going to see a little bit of that psychology used here, because at a certain point, what's $3 more per month is what a lot of people are going to end up saying. Yeah, that seems to be Spartacus. That seems to be, yes, this is a game mess, exactly. That's Spartacus. That is, I think this is kind of what you can expect. I think we'll hear about it pretty soon. Things could change. The pricing could change. The structure of what is in what tier could change. I'll say that this is what they've been considering recently. This is what I've heard. So yeah, that's going to do it for me up front. We should probably get to the questions. All right, so I'm going to hit the button to do that. Let's go to chat view. I'm going to scroll on down.